Hello there, and welcome back to War Thunder, to a first impressions on the new Japanese top tier jet that is the Mitsubishi T2, and I like this plane. So in the beginning, a little bit of a kill compilation and also some funny scenes, a little bit of a fail here and there because, at the end it's me. At the end, one nice battle as well in full length. And my god, is this thing beautiful, my god, is this thing powerful, and my god, does it accelerate quickly, is it overall fast. The plane has some very unique traits. It has a lot of aspects that I like, that are exciting and new, but obviously this is a plane so good that obviously the enemies don't have too much fun facing it. And the result of this is that currently you have a lot, and I mean nearly exclusively mixed battles, and those mixed battles result in you facing yourself, so it is not complete dominance over inferior opponents, but just stay with me. So why do I like this plane? Well, first of all, I didn't have to grind it. I got it fully upgraded for a test drive by Gaijin, which is always nice, because it costs 390,000 RP to grind, and with the current 9.0 premium jets or the predecessors with a talisman, no thank you, not in that matter. So that is also already a big downgrade getting to it. On the other hand, I like the RRB economy, despite this plane having a 28,000 civil line repair bills. That's hefty, but you get 1 or 2 kills and you break even. So, what are the unique traits? Well, first of all, radar, and that is that green thing there on the left hand side of the screen. Currently it is not activated, you have to set up special controls. Just look into the controls and there you'll find them to activate the radar, and then you can find enemy positions up to 20 kilometers distance, which is very powerful if you want to find somebody in clouds, if you want to prepare an ambush and then follow it up with the air-to-air missiles, of which you have 2 very different ones. So that's the thing number 1, the radar. Now the radar can be used, as you can see, to also lock onto an enemy target with your main gun, a 20mm gatling gun, which is also rather unique, and that means you then can have the advantage of a lead indicator. Roughly it works like the one in arcade, but it is a little bit different as it is much more trustworthy. Yeah, that was me being greedy, but as it turns out, it was totally worth it. And yeah, so that was 2 kills with air-to-air missiles. Then the 20mm JM61M Gatling. It has a rate of fire of 6,000 rounds per minute, and overall ammunition capacity is 750 shots. The 3 different belts are not really that much different. If you go for the default belt, the armor target belt has 1 more APIT shell and the air target belt has 1 less. So it just depends that the single round does probably not kill an enemy target, but the sheer volume and the sheer rate of fire, they just simply do the job. What is it with the plane's flight characteristics overall? Well, it has an outstanding acceleration, an outstanding roll rate, and an outstanding climb rate. It is really fast, especially with the afterburners, which in War Thunder are still called War Emergency Power, or WEP. And if you use this, which I recommend because you do not really suffer from overheat issues, you just guzzle fuel. You run through fuel like it would run out of fashion, which kind of does, but that's a different story. So I would recommend to take at least the 20 minutes of fuel. At best, maybe even play with the thought of, for longer battles like on Spain, 30 minutes. So yeah, it runs through fuel very quickly. Always recommend to watch your fuel status, and if you don't need it, to just go off the web, to just go off the afterburner. Also, overall, it feels very arcadey with its turning. It has rather wobbling issues like you're used to from, let's say, Focke-Wulf D-series planes in the past. On the other hand, this plane can pull up to 14 Gs without ripping its wings. But then it really doesn't like negative Gs. So at higher speeds, trying to pull full negative Gs, you will rip your wings. But you can fly without wings, as we will see just in a moment with another scene. And yeah, that's again one of those special damage models or flight models at all from Gaijin. Another thing is that the flaps and the gear can be deployed up to 500 kilometers, maybe even 600 kilometers per hour. Not the landing flaps, but the combat flaps. I have not really tested their limit, but yeah, it is really outstanding, especially the landing gear, so you don't have to worry about deploying the landing gear too late. Fake news, that never happened. Okay, so there is another feature that helps you when landing, and that is a brake chute or a brake parachute, if you will. So overall, the plane is forgiving, the plane is fun, the plane is fast, it hits hard. One thing about the gatling, well, not just that you can run through your ammunition very quickly, but there is a little bit of delay before you fire, and that is obviously the gatling has to spool up. And that cost me a lot of kills. You have to get used to it. You have to fire like half a second earlier of what you are probably used to, and yeah, get off the trigger rather quickly. If you're not careful with your ammunition and you just waste the air-to-air missiles, you can run through your arsenal rather quickly, and yeah, it is fast-paced gameplay overall, so be rather careful with this. So I absolutely love this plane. I absolutely do. But to get to it, it's not good. Another aspect of the flight model is that it is an insane glider. I just glided through half over Spain with an empty fuel tank from a speed of like 800 kilometers per hour easily, and I still had to do some maneuvers to break speed then on the landing strip. So this is really outstanding. It doesn't really like turning in terms of retaining speed, but then the acceleration is so fast and brutal afterwards. With the 20mm, especially with the armored belt, which I would recommend, you also can crack the light pillboxes if you have nothing else to do. And furthermore, in the case of cases, you have some other ground pounding material. Then on maps like Hokkaido, Spain, Berlin and Al Alamein, you have enough room to maneuver, and watch this first strike. Yeah, he was AFK, he didn't expect me to be that fast, and that's an easy first hit. And then I tried some negative Gs, and this is where I ripped the wings, and then a second rocket is launched, but I already am registered as crashed. So while the acceleration and the climb rate are really breathtaking, and you are in many ways a rather unique plane and you have a lot of gimmicks, don't think that this plane is foolproof. Don't think that you can get away with everything. But if you play it by the rules, if you play it in a conservative manner, you just have so many advantages, especially in late game, when it comes to then the performance fights, the ones versus ones. There you are just so good. If you still have the air-to-air missiles, if it is a hunt in the cloud where you then have the vision with the radar, with the air-to-air missiles, not every jet has this, you know, and with the radar in particular, you're the only one that has it. A little bit of evasive maneuver here. So yeah, absolutely a joy to fly. One funny thing about top tier is that, for example, or in general in RRB, is watch that Mitsubishi T2. So he got killed, and I now get still after he's already wrecked a enemy kill assist for it. You know, and then on this turn, suddenly I ripped my wings. I have no idea. I did this maneuver multiple times over, but let's just enjoy the show here when it comes to how we can fly. And yeah, here with the afterburner, we need all the speed. The higher the speed, the better you're controllable without wings. My rudder and the elevator are still fine. I still have all the thrust. Yeah, still can fly. The funny thing about this is that with that flying, and you will see it in the upcoming minute or so, is that this is how I survived the match, and then I had to pay a nearly no repair cost. And despite being registered as crashed, sadly I didn't record it, my overall income was just lowered by like 3,000 silver lines because the majority of the plane was saved, if you will. If you can land the plane in that status, I don't know. And then watch this. So here we have the radar, he overshot me, rocket or the missile is coming, and yeah, he didn't see the warning. And so I got here this nice kill through the cloud. So I think this is now where I use actually the radar, and you can see it is going as far as 20 kilometers. This is a very, very powerful tool, I have to say, to find the lost enemy. I don't know how much terrain is limiting it, but you have to point with the plane in the direction that the radar is going. As you can see, it's just going forwards. And finding the last enemy that tries to hide if he is not on the airfield, that's just, I think, yeah, especially with the cloud meta, which is usually very, very frustrating. And with your speed, your rate of climb, nobody can hide. And that makes this plane immensely powerful. Now, currently this is only with the Japanese, and I think that's another. That's a bit like with the Tunguska, with the ground-to-air missiles and the lock-on and the rate of fire. I mean, other SPAs also have this radar mechanic now, but with the Tunguska, you have this lock-on with the air-to-air proximity fuse shells, or missiles rather. And I always disapprove if something is given to only one nation, and then all the other nations have to just simply serve as gun food. That's not okay. That's not okay. And now let's come to the final battle, and let's start from the airfield, from the very beginning, and let's see how fast we can end this match. Well, it is not the fastest battle that I have played, honestly, but still, there you can see the brutal acceleration. 320, 370, 80, 90, 400. It's going faster than I can speak even. Yeah, this is probably the Bugatti Chiron of the supercars, or if you will, in this case, the superjets. And I'm just going in rather aggressively. At least that was the first plan. Just look at this acceleration, and then the climb rate and the energy retention is just remarkable. You just can climb to 7, 8, 10 kilometers before you even notice. This plane has no limits. Only the sky is literally the limit. Don't worry guys, I didn't fall asleep or anything, but I just enjoyed this plane, and sometimes I get complaints like, "Oh dude, you're talking too much, just shut up." Yeah, how did you like that?
Oh, it was so beautiful. Can you do that more often?
So yeah, we are already relatively high with still a very high speed, and that just like a minute after the start, or 1.5 minutes. So this plane really has the performance. I cannot tell you how awful it would be to fight this plane over and over again in my stock 9.0, or in general with my premium jet, where I try to grind other 10.0 jets, or in general this plane for example. Is it too much? Is this too much for one plane? Well, again, Gaijin has given, as I said, with the Tunguska for SPAs, this kind of gimmick only to one SPA, to one jet, to only one nation. I would love it if Gaijin would stop this kind of politics, if Gaijin just simply would come around and give equal performing top tier jets to all nations at the same time. Look, this patch was already very, very top tier orientated. I think the lowest that we got was one Italian heavy fighter that had a battle rating of, if I remember correctly, 4.0, the SM92. The rest was premium jets, rank 6 and rank 6 jets. So, yeah, and the same for tanks, and then a new branch for helicopters, and also the new wave of light cruisers, obviously. But still, it is very much top tier orientated, and I'm not quite sure if this is for the better. So the G91 just managed to get out of the way of the missile before it was too late, but then we get a good hit in, and he's already smoking, but he does the corkscrew maneuver, but not with me, sunshine, not today. And for a change I don't crash into him, which is nice for a change. There you can see how much speed you lose when turning, but how fast you still go. On the other hand, how sluggish you become at those lower speeds. It is remarkable how unresponsive it is. But I think no jet likes really that low speeds. Let's see if we can get this G91. There you can see this wobble and this aggressive rolling. I personally think it could be done a bit smoother. It's rather rough maneuvering, but hey, that's the way how it is. I tried to get guns on this guy. We get a critical hit, which is nice. Come on, another hit. There, enemy kill assist. God damn. So we already have now 2 kills and 2 kill assists. Well, that was rather quick. Let's see if we can deal here with the last enemy. I still have only 77 rounds left. Let's see what we can do with those rounds. Come on. And nope, he rolled just out of the way, and so there was nothing left for me to do. The final thing to enjoy is here the landing. After 2 kills and 2 assists, I think I did my job. I was at this point not really aware that this guy was in fact the last guy. And there you could see the brake chute, the parachute that slows you down immensely. That helps you in particular on rather short runways where other jets then have problems, and so you can dare to land a little bit faster. And at 50 kilometers per hour it then just simply falls off, which is nice. Quick look at the post-battle results, and yep, for those 2 kills and 2 assists we got 65,000 silver lines and 7,864 research point with a 10% silver line, a 10% research point booster. That's it for me today. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed this first impression. So give it a like if you did, subscribe if you want to see more, and we will see each other in the skies of War Thunder.